as a counsellor with Relationships Australia, I want to ask you some questions about people working from home during this coronavirus. How do you think working from home impacts on families differently from when people go to the office?
Okay, so usually when people go to the office, we're spending less time within the home together. And when the couple are home and then when you have children, we need to kind of start thinking about space. So if you're working from home, can you separate your workspace? And being aware of putting in some different kind of boundaries between both the adults and the children within the home, to make sure that there's still family time, couple time and alone time, because all the time can sort of start to blur and blend, and needing to just have awareness around the separation of that.
That's great. And what are some tips for people who will be working from home over coming weeks and months during the pandemic?
So if you're working from home, one of the things I suggest is to still kind of keep a ritual around getting up and getting dressed. So at the end of the day, you can still do the take off the clothes and get comfy, so you know you've knocked off work. The other thing is again, it's communicating and talking to the other people in the house. So what's going to be your workspace, what's going to be their workspace, or how that's going to play out. And that might even involve talking about some of the everyday sort of chores, because now that you're both in the house together, who's expecting who to do what. So really setting out still what's the workspace times, but definitely, even if it's just putting on different top or something so that you feel like you're in a workspace, and then you can knock off and go into your home space.
Do you have any advice for people who are working from home to keep intimate relationships healthy?
Yeah, it's communication. Communication is going to be key in regard to this, becoming aware of how you're feeling. We can all be picking up quite a bit of, anxious energy that is in the community, and that can come home. And so, if you start feeling that you might be feeling a bit anxious, getting a bit snappy, to be able to communicate this to your partner and let them know how you're feeling, and that you're a bit worried or that it's stressing you. And also, again, clear communication in setting up those workspaces and home spaces, and how things are going to be done with the children, because if you've got kids at home and they're now having online schooling, and so really taking the time to sit down and have that set out communication to set up sort of some new guidelines really for how things are going to operate within the house through this period.